John, if you would, just for folks, please introduce yourself and the name of your company and what you guys do.
John Butler, JB Benefits Consulting. We are a consulting firm that focuses mainly on resolving the healthcare issues for small to mid-sized employers.
So you've been in the program for a while. Tell me, please, what you enjoyed most about being in the program.
So going back to the very beginning, what I really enjoyed or found myself enjoying the most was to just look online to try to find out how I can get some help in consulting. Not having anything to do with social media, anything like that, but just consulting. So I could have been a consultant in umbrellas, for goodness sakes. And to try to find any assistance with a really good assistance with people who are qualified out there to help in a consultative business was really, really difficult to find. And I would challenge anybody to Google consulting services, consulting help, consulting coaching. And so what your program was most enjoyable is that you had something already thought through. That's really the biggest thing. But that I needed to focus in on my own strategy. What was I trying to do from the very beginning in my consulting practice? So as you know, over 6 months, that's actually morphed quite a bit. To where now I'm focused like a laser beam on just exactly what I want to do, how I want to do it, and how I'm different. So what I enjoyed really was getting to a point where you allowed me to kind of internalize a lot of, like first things first, okay? Yeah, you're a consultant, but what are you trying to do? What are you excited about? How can you actually make a difference as opposed to the other brokers around the country?
Yeah. And
so this is a bigger animal than even I thought when I first started this. And then on a personal level, just your personality. I mean, I know, and I think you know that we just click. It's like we have the same type of business minds, similar type of personalities. There isn't, although I have more wasted words than you do, but I know I can tend to go on a little. I really don't. Again, I'm 60. I'm a lot older, so I can let things go. But that's another thing. You just get to the heart of the matter right away, okay? And then you actually didn't say anything and allowed me to talk, which is a lost art.
Yeah.
So even whether you're a salesperson or a consultant or whatever, a part of the program being, okay, you need to ask questions and you need to shut up. You need to let the person talk and tell them what their pain is, not your pain or what you think their pain is. So we were able to work through a lot there, actually. And as things progressed with us, it just seemed to just get bigger and bigger and more exciting as we went. So it's a long answer to a short question there, but I probably could go on for another half hour on how much I enjoyed this. It was really, truly helpful to me. First of all, there's value in what you're doing. And I've told you this before, I don't think you actually realize how much value you have.
I appreciate that. that.
I think you're on to much bigger and better things as you go, too. So that's kind of where I'm heading. I think that's where you're heading. So anyway, that's the end.
So as you reflect back, is there a one thing, or if I challenge you to express the one thing you took away from the program, what would that one lesson takeaway be for you?
This is almost like an epiphany, and it's not something that nobody else would have an epiphany about this as well. But, and I told you this before, that it was probably halfway through the program. Well, at the beginning, I considered myself, okay, I am not going to go out of my way to change the world here. I'm going to try to do this in Minnesota. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was kind of have my head wrapped around one-on-one meetings with people, me going out in person, consulting with them, helping them, and move on to the next one. Well, the whole program blossomed into me having the realization that social media is incredibly powerful. I not only can do this locally, but I could do this nationally, and it will take some work. And I'm definitely, and I'll tell you more about this as we go through this morning, but it will take a lot of work for me to get myself positioned properly.
Mm-hmm.
But I can do this nationally, and that's what really sparked the fire in me. That if there's other businesses around the country, if there's other brokerage firms around the country that don't actually have the knowledge of what I have right now, I want to spread this thing like wildfire.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's an enemy.
Right. Right.
Really,
Right.
all of a sudden, I came to the realization that, okay, I am such a competitive person in the first place that I don't like losing almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
And a board game, for goodness sakes. And so I'm all at the beginning, okay, I'm going to be better than the other person locally here, and we're above where they are, and I'm going to charge forward, and we're going to make a difference by competing. Well, now I'm on the realization that, hey, if this news is really real news, and it is real, why not spread it to everybody and anybody? Employees, employers, brokerage firms, everybody. And the only way I can do it is through social media if I wanted to do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the process of, setting up a kind of studio in. This wouldn't have started in my, trying to expand my consulting practice if I didn't find you on YouTube. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
So all this stuff, I'm on the page of, oh, don't like me on Facebook. What the
Right.
hell? I don't care who likes me, who doesn't. That shit's not important, this and that. Now I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. I have missed the boat on this whole thing. And I'm sure other people, like I said, have had this realization. But it was like a total epiphany for me.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm even more motivated to keep this thing going forward and position myself properly.
Before
Okay,
you go there,
sure.
so I think what's important for those who haven't seen the inside, there's two things I heard from you really, really loudly. So you said, I think that there's opportunity in social media. I thought it was a waste of time, but there actually is some opportunity there. There's some things that I can do to accelerate my goals, accelerate my business. And what might be invisible for folks, again, who haven't seen the inside, is clarity came from your effort in productizing. That's the word that I would use. So as you thought about and got more specific and more clear about what problem can I solve? What do I know I can really solve for? And once you outlined that, then you saw opportunity. That focus opened up opportunity, which is counterintuitive. But you just explained, now that I know what I'm solving for, I can help these people. I mean, it began to explode. So again, kudos to you for taking that challenge and focusing in, because we had some dialogue about, focus in, pick a problem, let's fix it. And in doing that work, now you see a chance to 5x, 10x, and do some really amazing things.
Well, and let me say the differentiator in consulting practices. When you hear the word consultant, I mean, it just conjures up a whole bunch of things in your mind. But what at the core of what I'm always thinking about is, okay, this is a person that's really diving deep into questions and answers, and let's get to the heart of what you're dealing with. Maybe they're spending long hours doing this, going back and forth and so forth, which is, I think a lot of people have that in your mind. That's what a consultant does. Okay, they're bringing their experience to the table, and let's ask some questions that have never been asked before. And then I'm on board and I can help in any regard on an ongoing basis because I'm your consultant, right? Well, the shift came with your productized services to say, okay, and this is in spades what I deal with and have dealt with for 30 plus years almost. is that you think you got to the point of what their problem is or their pain is, and then you come back the second time, and then, oh, you know what? Well, we need another proposal that says this now and says that now. So the scope creep is dramatic in a consulting practice unless you have some kind of control over it.
Yes, sir.
And then when I finally, you had me kind of whittle this thing down to say, okay, it's a 5 or 6 step, 60-day transformation that I control. I don't say that to them, but I know that it's something that I control. And so now I work on those 5 or 6 steps really, really distinctly and say, okay, boom, 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 boom. And if they ever get off track on that, I'm stopping right there. Say, hang on a second. Exactly right. Hang on a second now. And you did this with me, actually. Hey, hang on, because those are in your modules coming up. Okay, so don't veer away from us right now, because we're trying to do something here. And if it's too much of a back and forth and too much of a pain, you know, I'm very comfortable with saying, you know, where this isn't probably the right fit.
Right.
And because what we're going to be doing is solving this problem and this pain in 60 days, and you have to just stay with the steps and we'll get there.
Right. That
is an enormous shift, not just in a productized service of online productized service
right.
that you're working with. That is an enormous shift for almost anybody else. That is something that nobody else that I've ever seen has done before. And that has to get into their soul somehow.
Yes, sir.
That step-by-step service. Scope creep is no longer an issue.
Yes, sir.
You just don't even waver from that. You can't
right.
waver from that. And so that's what I'm trying to, you know, still put together and keep on track. That's the whole thing is about keeping on track. So
indeed, indeed,
that helps.
No, it does. It does. It does. So, so John, what would you tell somebody who was considering being a part of the group program? So, would you, what warning would you offer somebody? What advice would you offer somebody? What would you tell somebody who was considering joining the program?
Again, I would open it up to any consultant of any kind. What you will be able to do is to, and I'm not sure that productized service describes it. Because when I think of productized service, I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, it's just, and maybe that's just me. So don't, take that as a universal thing here. I would say that it will help you zero in on exactly what you're offering, and it will help them put together a consulting program that will be a step-by-step resolve of issues that you're trying to solve for the public, whatever your market is. And it will give you a systematic way of taking your consulting practice and putting it into a scope creep avoidance step-by-step way of saying, hey, we are offering X, and all you have to do is YZ before you launch the X program.
That's right.
So I can't stress enough that the idea of opening up to a consultant of any kind, doesn't matter what it is. And I would challenge you to find anybody online that, even the people that you go to that have probably a relatively good video on consulting, you can tell they're probably a pretty successful consultant. Maybe they're making $250,000 to $500,000 a year, but they don't give you anything. They don't say anything. They don't have anything on their website. It's amazing. I mean, isn't that amazing?
Hey,
that
yes,
is
sir.
Amazing.
Anything else? Just while we're live having this interaction, you want to ask about or say?
Now that you've taken me this far and so forth, I sincerely just want to say thank you. I don't have many business relationships that are on this level, frankly. Of strategy, of well thought through kind of stuff. I see you. I don't know where you're going with this thing, and that's completely up to you. But 2 to 5 years from now, man, you could be in a very big need out there, and I think your potential is unlimited at this point.
It's been a pleasure. It's been seriously,
Yeah,
honestly, it's been a
really.
pleasure working with you. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
And you're at a really dangerous place, and I mean that in a good way. Like you're
Yeah,
at a place where
that's a great line. I'm using that line.
You're welcome to have it.
No, that is a great. I don't know if that was just top of your mind or whatever, or not planned, but a dangerous place. I'm using that in my videos. I am that, because that's like, wow, really dangerous. Yeah, bring it on, baby.
Indeed, yes, sir. Yeah. Is there any other way to play? You know, so
no, I know it exactly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you run. Thank you for your time today and your effort in this program. See you soon, man. See you out there.